list of female movies here, right? Even going back to 1974, you had this chick here, this bitch here called Wonder Woman, this movie. Going back to 1974. In 2013, you had this movie called Kick-Ass 2. Or this bitch played this little girl played as a superhero. And of course, the most of the time they make them Edomites too. Yeah, but there you have it. There you have it, bro. And then all that is basically wicked. And it's nothing new either. When you go into Jeremiah, let's get this here in Jeremiah. You had simp ass niggas and wicked ass, proud ass woman leading the ways to this type of thinking here. In the book of Jeremiah, the Queen of Heaven was a goddess worshipped by apostate Israelites who made cakes and offered drink offerings to her to ensure prosperity rather than worshiping the God of Israel. Jeremiah condemns this worship as idolatry in Jeremiah 7 and Jeremiah 44, while the later passage showing the people's defiant refusal to stop even after the destruction of Jerusalem, claiming their misfortune stemmed from neglecting her. The goddess is likely a foreign fertility deity, such as the Babylonian Ishtar or Canaanite Astarte. And her worship involved the entire family, with the woman making cakes and the men participating in other ways. Yeah, the woman had the bigger honor in making the cakes. Both women and men were involved while mothers making the cakes, sons gathering firewood, and fathers lighting fires. Yeah. What's the most honorable role in all that? The woman that's making the cake. Not the sons gathering the firewood or the fathers lighting the fires. Okay, all that shit was all that's all that whole wicked ass inequality, reverse inequality that the woman wants to surpass the man's role in. Okay, the man's supposed to be above the woman, and what that did was put the man below. So it was complete opposite of what the Lord commands, where it mentions teach your sons my laws. And who's the Most High? Whose laws? The Most High's laws. The Most High is a man. Deuteronomy 6 and 7. So that whole is a woman worship there was all a ploy to take the man out of the household, just like you see today. Just like you see today with what Esau has been able to successfully do to the black and to the black family, to the black household. And Deuteronomy 6 and 7 and I'd be impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Yeah, so that's fucking Jake for you, man. He was set up teaching there. Instead of the mother teaching her daughters these laws, the ways of the Lord had told us to keep in order and command. And these simple ass niggas, just like today, instead of teaching your son the laws, commands of the Father, you'll rather be a simple ass, stupid fucking nigga and go and follow your own little simple ass, wicked ass ways, right? See, all that shit right there is gonna get judged, man. And it's the spirit right now that it's raining because the Lord's upset. And that's what that means to me. The Lord's upset. He's crying and upset because of these stupid motherfuckers. Stupid fucking niggas, stupid fucking women that are still rebellious. In your rebellious fucking mind state. You're fucking stupid, man. And today, till this day, you have that woman worship, that Queen of Heaven bullshit being propagated and promoted and being kept and followed by these same Israelites. Back in the time of Jeremiah, we're doing it. It's still doing it. That was just right after Jerusalem fell. They still didn't listen. Okay, so in the book of Jeremiah, the Queen of Heaven is a title for a pagan goddess like Ishtar or Astarte, Ashtoreth, who were worshipped in ancient Near Eastern cultures, and it goes all the way back to today too, the Easter. Okay, that all goes back to Ishtar, the Valentine's Day. What's that catered to? The woman. What's Mother's Day? What's that catered to? The woman. There's no Mother's Day in the Bible. Okay. Why should the mother be? Why should the mother have the scriptures already tell you to honor your father and your mother. But if your mother doesn't even keep these laws, why should you honor her? Okay, Mother's Day is about honoring your wicked ass whore mother who didn't ever even teach you the laws, okay? Never did anything for you because she didn't teach you these laws. Therefore, it really did nothing for you. Why should she be honored? Why should you have a day by having this day, Mother's Day, being catered to her? Mother's Day ain't about honoring your mother because she's taught you these laws of the Most High. Yeah, you still respect your mama, your father and shit. Even if they don't have this truth. To a certain degree, you can't just be an asshole to them. But you gotta understand and differentiate why you wouldn't be celebrating that day either. Fuck Mother's Day, basically. You gotta say like that. I mean, you're not gonna go and cuss your mom out because she ain't teach you these laws. We're gotta use wisdom out here. We understand if our people don't get it, then they just ain't gonna get it, bro. But at the same time, you ain't gonna give a fuck about Mother's Day. Brothers are not preparing for no Mother's Day. We have our own holy days we keep. And 9 times out of 10, bro, most of our mothers, if they're still alive, we're still here with us. We know they ain't going. Our biological mothers, they're not going to get it. Okay, how I said here, who are my mothers and my fathers and my brothers. In Matthew 12, start at 46. I'll start at 48. But he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is keeping the commandments, that's in John. 1 John. I want to say it's the first chapter. The Apostle John here says, 1 John chapter 2 and verse 4, Whoever says, I know him, but does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Start going up to verse 3, and by this time we know that we have come to know him, if we keep his commandments. 6, Whosoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. So right there, because you Christians. And this is John 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. This is Yahweh Shai. Well, his words right here. So going back to what Yahweh Shai said, who are his mother and his brothers? He's pointing to his disciples. Whoever does the will of my Father, which is keeping the commandments, once again, that's what love is. Okay, not eating pork. Okay, because this is an order the Lord gave us. You know, and you Israelites, bro, who are ignoring this, ignoring the words of the Lord, ignoring his commands, you're going to pay for it because you're an Israelite. You have no right to be out there eating pork, out here trying to commit adultery, okay, hating your brother, getting lineups, being a fucking nigga. A lot of that nigga shit is from being a nigga from the hood. That a lot of you young Israelites, young men look up to and want to be so goddamn much, man. That shit's right there is gonna get your ass smoked. And to you young Israelite woman, a lot of this whole shit that you want to do, being hoes, going out there and being hoes and fucking every other nigga you see, calling a man worthless, okay, and broke, and nigga shit, being disrespectful, being a fucking hyena is gonna get you fucking smoked. Anyway, Matthew 12:50, and whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and my sister and mother. So even me, for example, doing the will of the Lord. Say that all by faith, humbly. I'm Lord willing, man, that's what I'm doing. And if I am doing that, man, I'm Yahweh's mother, brother, sister, all that. So having this Father's Day shit, Mother's Day shit without having any scriptures or truth incorporated with all behind it with, because there's nothing wrong with making your own holy days. The Maccabees commemorated a special day from the deliverance that the Lord gave them. And ultimately, each holy day, really, it's supposed to be catered toward the Lord, not to one specific individual. That's why birthdays are off. That's why, even birthdays are completely going off. Okay, if you want to take a day out of the week, as long as it's not in the Sabbath, to party with your parents and honor your parents and give them some gifts and show them that you love them and that you're there for them. That's nothing wrong with that. But you have having a specific day for that, really to each out of annually each year, it's putting the Lord to the tempting the Lord. That's tempting the Lord, man. The Lord wants you to celebrate His holy days, man. Okay, all that other shit you can do that. Any other free times, laser days of the year. And then again, that's if your parent and your mother even are in this truth. If they're not in this truth, you really ain't going to be spend so much time with them, because they're of the world. It's best to be with like-minded brothers. Okay, or your woman, if you have a woman that's in the truth, in the faith, that you believe is of the elect, who's in order, with your child, your baby, right? You bring it up in this word. That's more preferable. And even then, we're in our captivity, and we don't have time to be. I don't even have time to meet up with the brother to do any of that, okay? Because he's working, and I'm working. We're in our captivity here. We don't even have that type of freedom here in America. Scriptures say that. In Baruch 3 and verse 8. Baruch 3 and 8, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. Gone. Going back to Jeremiah 7 and 18. Going back to this Ishtar, Asterisk, and also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Christmas goes back to one of these Queen of Heaven gods. In Rome, ancient Rome. So this is just modern day Rome, so it's no surprise they partake in this strange activities, hedonistic customs, idolatrous customs, lawless customs, man. Completely lawless. And it's the job of you Israelites, man, even if you're of the 2/3 stock, to not be participated in this shit, because you're gonna get judged too. The Lord says that everyone should go through the straight gate. Other heathens, they're the only ones that have been given the permission from the Lord to go ahead and worship these other made up gods, deities, things like of that sort. It says, who was worshipped in ancient Near Eastern culture. The prophet Jeremiah condemned the people of Judah for making cakes and offering drink offerings to this goddess, which God saw as a direct provocation of his anger and a breach of the covenant to worship only him. Yeah, you ain't supposed to worship your woman. If you're an Israelite and you ain't putting your foot down on these women, if your woman dresses like a whore, you're going off, technically speaking, man. Just being around something like that, you're going off. It's completely backwards, completely off. But I mean, you could be with one of these Western women. You just never know. But on a deeper level, just think about it, like even just being around that. Just giving my own opinion on it, speaking as a man, it's just, brothers have their freedoms. You can be out here and get one of these women. But in the back of your mind, you gotta see how fucked up that is. Now we gotta be here in America, and even if you were to get a woman who wasn't in his truth, wasn't right, it would look all bugged out, because you know it's true. You know how a woman's supposed to dress, but this woman bitch here you have is all not even covered up as the law directive. Jeremiah 7 and 18. The prophet records that children gather wood, fathers light fires, and women knead dough to make cakes of bread for the Queen of Heaven, and pour out drink offerings to other gods to provoke God's anger. Jeremiah 44:17-25. In this passage, Jeremiah confronts the Jews who had fled to Egypt, explaining that their suffering was due to their worship of the Queen of Heaven. People stubbornly reject his message, saying they were prosperous when they worshipped her. The identity of the Queen of Heaven. Scholars generally agree that the Queen of Heaven refers to the Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar, who was also known as the Queen of Heaven and Earth. And that's blasphemy. The Lord is the only one who is the king of heaven and earth. She may also be identified with other Semitic goddesses such as the Canaanite Astarte or Ashtoreth, and Anna, a Sumerian goddess, is also a likely candidate, as her name means Queen of Heaven. And then Rome had their own goddesses too. Also in Egypt you had Isis. In Rome you had Ceres, a Roman goddess of agricultural, grain, and motherly relationships. She was associated with the earth woman in both the fruitfulness of crops and the fertility of humans. You had Juno, Flora, Roman goddess of flowers, spring, and fertility. Minerva, Vesta or Diana, goddess of hunting, wild animals, the moon, fertility, nature, and childbirth. She is associated with virginity and the protection of women and children, which is off. All is completely off and just bugged out. And when we were in the world, we were into this shit. We were into this because each one of us, before in our lifetime, we were simps and we played that game before. We played that game before of bowing our necks to the woman. Okay, you got constantly in these songs and music, songs about some dude's heart being broken for some woman who was not even in the right, wanting to go and get back with that bitch. It's not even in the right. And all that is wicked, okay? This truth teaches us to be the opposite of all of that. Ultimately, and you wicked ass woman here on this side that's, just into being all about yourself, not about any man, okay? Especially you younger woman too. You're gonna pay for that, man. You're gonna pay for that. I just did a video earlier today on the woman once again as well. Going into how a woman, if you're not trying to be under a man and master being your life catered toward the man in righteousness, holiness, sobriety, all things that's of the order of the Lord. Paul wrote on that the apostles wrote on. Peter said it himself. That's what I mean by that. Peter said it himself. Let a woman be shamefaced with sobriety. First Timothy 2:9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. This is in 1 Peter 2. First Peter 3:1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. Be in subjection to your own husbands, he said there. So even if you're a woman that has the truth, so calm, man, even if you're a woman who has the truth, right? And by the way, man, these people got demons on them, man. So, and in general, this road hates us, man. Okay, in general, this road hates us because they see that we have a certain spirit on us, and they got demons on them, and they do shit that to us that's vexation, man. The Lord is gonna judge that shit, man. To any nigga, okay, we don't care if you're a fucking nigger, a little young nigger, man, nigga. This is all going completely out of order. Disrespects a man of the Lord. You're gonna get judged. Whether you're an old ass fucking Ishmaelite, okay, looking ass Northern Kingdom nigga, you're gonna get judged. Your car's gonna get pulled by the Lord. Okay, or whatever you may be, man. A wicked ass woman, usurping her own authority over the man, not being in the right order, alright, being proud and rebellious, you're gonna be put down. I just gotta say that real quick because it's in my spirit and in my mind. Okay, I went to the store earlier, and these people have no respect, man. Our people have no respect for the man of the Lord and their prophets, man. Yeah, no respect whatsoever. So shalak to them. Any little ass thing they do, they get marked, man. Okay, the Lord said it doesn't matter what it might be. To the least offense, to the large biggest one. If they do something to offend us, piss us off, bother us, and they don't have these scriptures, these laws, man, they're not sealed up as the one of the elect. May the Lord keep that written down in remembrance and pay him in due time. In due season, they shall get their asses judged. Going back to this, 1 Peter 3 and verse 1. Peter right here says right here himself, likewise ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word. So even if you are a woman in the faith, it's saying here, you still got to be in subjection to that man if he doesn't have this word. Verse 3, who's adorning, same thing Timothy said here. So just showing you that they all agreed. They were all in the same accord. Paul agreed too. Let's get what Paul said about the woman. Paul here is commanding women to be quiet when learning is taking place among the assembly, and that means they cannot teach at all. Thus Paul is prohibiting women from two tasks, both teaching man and exercising authority over man. Con. And that's exactly the opposite of what Esau does here in America. Because he's a devil, he's a heathen. And that's exactly what I see quite often, more often than not, with these women in these jobs, these women in general, going out in the stores. Their spirits all completely loud, stubborn, wicked, rebellious. In the ways they move, the ways they behave. I pray the Lord may judge that soon. Soon enough it's gonna happen, man. And on a big scale though. Maybe on a small scale for now. But it's also gonna be, it's all going to be all saved up for Jeremiah 30:7, the day of Jacob's trouble, man. Let the woman learn in silence. So Paul here and Peter there in 1 Peter 3 are saying the same thing. Those are the two leaders, the two heads of the churches they were teaching in. 1 Timothy 2:11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Okay? 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. So that means you women are the ones that went off and made mistakes. Okay, that means you just bring, that proves that you women just bring confusion. It means that you women just bring confusion. So how much more when you try to talk over a man and try to be over a man? It's all confusion. The Lord is not with it. He's against that. He hates to see a woman trying to surpass a man. That's the point right there. So the woman should learn in silence and stay in your place. Stay in your place. It's not for you women to be thinking you got something to say. And so with that, I mean, that's really the point. Peter there, Paul there, agree with each other. Also, Paul here, even commanded you women to have your heads covered. 1 Corinthians 14. And 34, let your woman keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted. This is a whole different scripture now. Paul repeats the same thing here in this letter here. Why would he be repeating himself in the whole different other letter? Because this was a very important instruction and order and rule in the ancient times with these Christians of Paul, Peter, the apostles, I should say, in this time, who were Israelites, so-called black men, so-called Latino men, so some northern tribes mixed in there, a couple of them, mainly the southern kingdom, Judah, Levi, Benjamin, okay, so-called Haitians. These were Israelites who were all believing in the same order, the same doctrine here. And the woman learned in silence. For it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. What? Came the word of God out from you, or came it unto you only? Here's the best part right here. 37. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, if you claim it to be spiritual, you claim it to be a prophet, hey man, you can't be a simp. You can't be a beta male, man. You can't be looking at these women like they're over you or like they could teach you anything. I don't care how many years a woman has in this truth compared to the younger man in this faith. The younger man ain't gonna learn anything from that woman. He's got men out here who's gonna teach him. If they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. For it is a shame for a woman to speak in a church. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. Yeah, and that was in all the churches. All these churches, unless they were out of order, took Paul's letters and instructions seriously. Meaning they weren't trying to turn from it to the right or the left. From these instructions Paul wrote to them. All these churches, if they were in order, they were going to take the letters, the instruction, and keep it. Because Yahushua was dealing with Paul, okay? Yahushua is the true name, not this person called Jesus, who y'all believe is the Savior here, who's going to so-called save everybody. That's another lie, blasphemy. That's going to get paid for. 37. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. But if any be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy and forbid not to speak with tongues. Let all things be done decently and in order. So with that's the point. Shalom. Hopefully this is edifying and a blah. Okay, your woman got it coming to you who's not humbling down, seeking a man to be under that man, to be good to that man and treat him right. Y'all woman who ain't doing that, you got it coming to you, specifically you Israelite woman. And unfortunately, 2/3 aren't gonna listen to it. They ain't gonna take heed to it, and they're gonna be destroyed. And we can't wait for that day. We're gonna celebrate in that day. Shalom and blah. And it's the spirit that it's raining right now, by the way, so you can hear it. Because as I was sleeping today, I told the Lord, I pray you make it rain all night tonight, so the end of tomorrow night. Lord willing, shalom and a bar.